Good evening, everyone. Let us get started with our Tosca demo part. Let me share my screen. Can someone just confirm if you're able to see my screen?
Yes, we are able to see.
Okay, thank you. So as discussed, today we are going to see the practical demo part on Tosca, how we could use Tosca as an automation tool and how we can automate any given application. So we will try to pick one sample application and let us try to automate that. So before that, in our yesterday session, so we had a quick intro. So if anyone new here who have just missed yesterday's session, and then if someone is new here, can you please let me know someone who has joined today?
Yeah, myself, Gopinath, I was joined today only.
Okay, Gopinath. So yeah, let me quickly give a quick intro of mine as well as what we have done or looked into it. So then we will move ahead with our demo part. So yeah, hi, myself Pradeep. I have over 10 plus years of experience in this IT industry, of which manual and automation, if you would say around 2 years after initially uh, in this different tools that I have just stated over here. And apart from that, Tosca, if you would see my total overall experience, around 8 years is what I have. Now, apart from these things, like around 20 plus projects is what I have handled during this tenure. And reason being more of the short term and medium term projects were more long term, maybe like a year or two, or a couple of projects where I have worked on. So yeah, this is just my quick intro. So yeah, whoever have just joined today, if you could quickly introduce yourself with these details, and then I will give a quick recap of what exactly we have done, and then we will move ahead with our Tosca demo part.
Hi, sir. Myself is Manju. I joined today, and currently I'm working as non-IT. Yeah, that's all.
Uh, so you have what's your background, your experience?
Like a healthcare domain, sir.
Sorry,
Healthcare domain.
healthcare domain. What's your total experience to that?
I have 2.5 years of experience. 2 years and 5 months.
Okay. And so, reason for choosing this Tosca, is it your personal interest or your project demand that you are here?
No, personal interest.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, hi, Pradeep. Myself, Gopinath. My base location was Hyderabad. So I have total 4 years of experience in manual testing. Currently, I'm working in Indian software. My client was Uber.
Okay, manual
Yeah,
testing, 4 years
yes,
into
yes.
that
I just wanted to move in Tosca automation.
with your personal interest. Okay,
Yes.
got it. Thank you, Gopinath. Surya Prakash, can you share your contact number with our admin team, please? So, anyone else who has just joined today, want to introduce yourself, who have missed out giving your introduction?
Hi Pradeep, myself Praveen. I was joined yesterday class also, but a little busy with some other work, so only I'm not already yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm working in healthcare profession, like in pharma company, 9 years of experience.
Okay.
My friends are in this course only. They are referred
Mm.
me
So
to
your
join
friends
in this field.
suggested you
Yes.
taking this one. Okay.
Suggested me to join in
So
this
completely 9 years
course.
into manual automation only, manual testing only,
No. Pharma related job.
pharma related. Okay, non-IT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Non-IT.
Okay.
Uh,
Got it.
okay.
Thank you. So Surya Prakash, if you could give us your introduction as well, your contact details with our admin team, if you would help, that would be better. Now with this, having said this, okay. So what exactly have we gone? We had a quick intro of even this Tosca side. So like we have seen what a Tosca tool is. So we had a quick thing. Yeah, whoever would want to go deeper into this uh, slide or this details again, you would be finding our uh, yesterday's recording in case if you would want to. Right? And apart from this, so if I have to quickly give you the intro of Tosca. So what exactly we have looked into yesterday is that Tosca being a testing platform where we could automate end-to-end applications, being it a web, mobile, desktop, API, database, etc. So how we can do that. And about the testing thing, we have also seen what a testing is, why we really need software testing, what is manual automation and difference between that. So I hope things are clear with it, but a quick recap, if I have to give why we really need testing is whatever the application or the software that is going to be built, that may have some defects, issues, or it is probably not being built exactly the same way what is being expected. So we here as a testers have a role to validate that, do the validation of that, check whether the things whatever were built, is it properly built, correctly built or not. So for that, we have to test it and make sure it is being built in the expected way. And manual thing, it's just only like a person, a human who would be manually doing all the interactions, interacting with that application manually, be it any application that has to be tested, all those steps whatever a tester has to perform, if it is done by a human, we will say that as a manual testing. And same testing, same steps that we have to test, if it is done by a robot or by a tool, then we say it as automation testing. And the difference between manual and automation, we can clearly see that automation testing, we don't need a person to be there and then test it. If we just write the script once, we could check the testing, we could do the testing, execute our scripts n number of times onto different browsers and all. So we see clearly an advantage of an automation tool over manual. And also if some functionality that we have to test rigorously, like for n number of times, a manual tester, if they are doing it, the effectiveness or the result, the outcome that would come would not be the same all the time because of the things what could impact, right? But through automation, you would get the same result on the same application, whatever maybe at whichever point you are just testing it, you will get the result, same thing. And also in automation you would get a quick response, you would come to know quickly the result, the outcome would be much faster than doing it in a manual way. So these are the things about the testing. And then we have seen about Tosca, why Tosca is called model-based test automation, because of scripting. We don't need any scripting, and optimizing the test coverage, end-to-end applications we can automate, and it also works with CI/CD, Jenkins, Azure DevOps, etc. And coming to the framework, what it allows: reusability, scalability, and maintainability. So for this, we have also seen Tosca we had usually compared with the Selenium. So where we had seen Selenium being a free or open source tool for automation, whereas Tosca is a paid tool. But even though if it is paid tool, without having to code anything, one can use Tosca and perform the automation if they want to. But same way for Selenium, someone needs to know the programming language, any language. It could be Java, Python, Ruby, etc. Right? And with Selenium, they can only automate a web-based application. But whereas with Tosca, if you would say, no coding, and also we could automate not only web, but API, desktop, any SAP-based applications, etc. All in one tool is what Tosca can be useful. And here we have also seen a scenario where if a company wants to automate 1,000 test cases, within 1 year if they want to do. Then if someone is using Selenium, they might come they might come to a conclusion that we need at least 10 people, 10 resources to complete this task. But whereas if they would use Tosca, then instead of 10, they might hardly need 3 to 4 people. Why 3 to 4 people without uh, the same amount of work and all? Why and all? If you would see the demo part and if you would go understand further things, then you will come to know why it is easy to use, how it is effectively able to automate any given scenario with very less efforts, and the same amount of work could be quickly completed with less number of people. So this is what even management have seen things, and nowadays you might also be seeing more opportunities on Tosca rather than Selenium. If before COVID or down the line 5 years before and after, if we try to compare, if Selenium was 80% in the market, Tosca was, let's say, 20%. That was the earlier case. But now, maybe in this 5 years, what has changed? Because of the features, because of the things what Tosca is offering, you will see the Tosca in the market, the share has been increased. So it's now 50% we can say, and 50% even Selenium. Now going forward, things would might even get more better with the things what the Tosca people, the guys, they are adding up features, the AI thing that is also coming, and then they're advancing into the tool. And with that, who knows, the more effort what one is now taking to do the same amount of work, we might need very less effort to do the same thing because of the AI, Vision AI, what things Tosca guys, the team is trying to add in the tool and helping the clients to do the same amount of work with less efforts. So this is overall a bit intro of what we have actually looked into, and then how to use Tosca even we have seen, and then this things with Tosca you can do manual testing, API, database, all these things. Don't worry too much about for now. How we can use Tosca is what generally you would have to download, install Tosca in your machine, write the script, automation script, run that, check the result, basic general flow that you could see. But in practical or in things in our session, I'm going to explain. So Tosca view for the very first time, if you're seeing it, this is how it looks like, where we see some menu options and some tabs, the properties towards the right, the left you would see project tree like structure that you are seeing, and the status bar to the bottom, and then details tab that you see here, right? And the use cases of Tosca, which particular industries would use Tosca. If you would see, if it is a banking, healthcare, retail, telecom, insurance, etc., all those companies can use Tosca. Where exactly they can use? If that company is performing any regression testing, if they are doing API testing or database testing, SAP, UI, any automation, if they would do, then they can use Tosca. And the training key points that we have already listed here, so you guys can go through this, and if any of you have any questions on this, let me know. So the certification site, these are all the certifications which we are going to cover as part of our training course event. So before I start or jump into the practical demo part, any questions anyone would like to ask? If you have any questions, let me know.
Sir, may I know that Playwright and this Tosca comparison, right? So Playwright also supports free version. It supports SAP testing, right? So I don't know actually. Just can you explain?
Right. Playwright is also new in the market, and it is still uh, I would say still competing, or things are but not completely there, or even I'm not much aware of what a playwright could do when you would see with a playwright. So again, I would say or think of we might still need some coding or some basic thing with the playwright. At least some technical knowledge is one would need to have to use playwright, right? But for Tosca, it's like non-technical person, even who is from non-IT, or let's say business people, or even a manual tester. Even all those people can use Tosca and automate without having to worry about what programming knowledge they should be aware of. But with Playwright, some programming knowledge, at least the basic thing, is one would require. That's the one thing I can say as of now with Playwright.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions from anyone? If not, then we can quickly look ahead with our practical part on the Tosca side. So if you have any questions, let me know. So I would jump into the practical part. So what exactly we are going to do? Let us try to uh, automate some application. What application should we just take? And before this, you would also see like why Tosca. So you could go through why next IT, why Tosca into this, and then you can see the reviews, feedbacks from our previous candidates who have already joined. So you would get to know their experiences. So you could see over here their experiences and you can make your call. So you would see this is where with their recent experience, the batch that we had completed, they were sharing their thoughts. So I would, it might help if you would have to go through this. Okay, so what we are going to do now in today's practical session is we will try to automate one of the application. So same thing. Now, whatever I would pick for an automation, the same way you can pick any application of your own choice. The steps and the things would remain same. The approach, the process, the way with which we would interact Tosca and that with the application part or performing or doing the automation on that application, approach would be the same, process would be the same. So you just have to understand what you want to do. So as an example, let me just try to just say, let's try to automate this particular application. Let's say new demo web shop, some application. What we will try to automate in this application is, let me just first copy this URL, copy the URL. So onto this URL, this application, let us try to automate a test case, a scenario with a test case name, let's say some login functionality of the application. So the test case name. So login functionality of this particular application, let us try to test it. So how we can test the login functionality of that? So what is the very first steps? So steps, if we see what exactly would be the steps to perform the login functionality of this application, what exactly would be the step? So step one would be, first step that you would do is open the browser and launch the application. So the very first thing that you would perform or you would do is open the browser, whatever is there in your system, and then you will launch the URL, the application with that URL, right? So this is the URL that you would have to use to perform the very first step to test this application, right? And then for this, as soon as the application is launched, you could see on your screen the application is launched. So what do you think? What would be your next step, your second step? What exactly we would do if we want to test this login functionality of that application? What do you think?
Give the valid credentials.
The very second step, as per this, like let's say if there's someone new here who is wanting to test the login functionality of that application, and the first step that they see is open the browser, launch the application. Assume it is a kid, a school kid who would just read this step and try to do it what it has to. So according to this, okay, let's say that kid has opened this up browser and launched this application. Now, what exactly he has to do? What is the next step that he would have to do on this?
Click on login.
Click on the login link.
Login.
So you would see, because we wanted to test the login functionality of that application, and to test that, we would need, the very next step is to clicking on that login link. So here, the second step would be again same thing. Click on the login link. So this is what we would do. Now the kid would, let's say he would read this and then understand that, and then he would come onto this application and he would just click on this login link. So once he clicks, what is the next or the third step? What he has to do exactly?
Enter the credits.
Enter the credentials. Like the very next step is go to the email field and enter the email ID into this email field, right? That is the next step. So here we will say enter email ID would be the third step. And what could be the fourth step?
Password.
Password.
Enter password. So again, what enter email ID when we say, okay, I would want to enter abc@gmail.com. Assume this value I want to send it or enter it. So I'll copy this value, come to this email field. I would come here and paste it. So third step is done. After third step, what is the fourth step? Enter the password. So what password I want to enter? Let's say I would want to enter password as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Just say this password I want to enter. So I will copy this password from here, reading this step, and then come to the application, try to do it as per the step. So I will enter that value. Once I enter this value, what is the next thing that I have to do?
Click on login or enter the check mark that remember me is there, right?
Right. So all those things is an optional thing, but the very next or immediate thing that we would want to do is after entering the email ID, after entering the password, you would want to click on this login button. So that is what you would have your next step. Click on login button that you see. After click on login button, let's say I will come here, click on the login button, and I might see something. That's okay. So I'm saying, okay, I want to do only this part, this set of actions, this set of steps that I would want to perform. After this, I would want to close the application, close the browser, close the application. So I would just come here, close this browser or this only application. I can close. So that is my last step which I want to do it. Close the application. So these are the 6 steps that we would want to perform as part of our test case, the login functionality. Now, just now, if we see what we have done, we have did the manual testing of this particular application with what exactly we wanted to do. As per that step-by-step things is what we have followed, and we have just now did manual testing of that application. Am I correct, everyone? Everyone on the same page?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So with this, manual testing is fine. Where a person has to go through, perform all those things manually, which we have done. But here we are not here for doing the manual testing. We want to do the automation. So what exactly is automation? The manual steps, the manual things, whatever you would have, the same thing you would want a tool to do it. And that tool currently we have Tosca now, which we are looking into. So we would want all this set of actions or the steps that has to be performed by Tosca is what we are going to look into. So now in this, what we will do is we'll go to Tosca. So again, what is this Tosca? How did we get this? How we can download? How we can install? And how did I get this folder? What are all these things? Everything in detail in our next session, in our next week topics is what we are going to discuss in our training session, the regular thing that is going to happen. So we are going to discuss that in the next week. But for now, just for the demo purpose, I will try to show you a few things, how you can really automate this manual flow, whatever we have, how we can automate this steps, whatever we want to do in the application. The same thing, how we can do it with Tosca tool is what we are going to see. So for that, what we want to do is we want to create a test case. So what is the test case? If you want to create a test case in Tosca, you have to go to test case section, the test case folder that you would see. So onto this test case, if you want to create a test case, what you have to do is just right click on this, and here you would get an option called create a test case. So from this context menu that you see, the fourth option over here, if you see, it is create a test case thing. So with this, you are now trying to create a test case in Tosca. So here you could give the name of the test case. You could type anything, whatever you would want to. Instead of giving any name, what is the test case name that we want to perform or what we want to do? What is our test case name that we want to do as part of demo?
Login
Login
functionality.
Login functionality. So just to make sure things are exactly the same way, I'll try to copy paste things. So copy the name of this test case, copy from this, and then we will go to the test case part and we will paste it. Control V. So we are creating one test case which says login functionality of the app. Now for this test case, in general, what a test case would consist of?
Steps of the
Test steps. So whatever steps we would want to perform as part of that test case, that steps is what we would perform. Now, as per our requirement, what this test case, how many steps does it has?
6.
Six steps. So the same 6 steps is what we will try to make sure we will do it, and then we could even validate, or traceability purpose, we will make things simpler, or even the automation that we are doing, we will try to do it exactly the same way what the manual steps are asking us to do, right? So here at the end, what we want to do is we need to have 6 steps for this particular test case, and when we would execute this, we should see that Tosca should be doing all these steps one after the other, and how it does is what I'm going to show. So the first step into this test case, what is the first step that we have?
Launch the browser.
Application.
Open the browser and launching of that application is what we want to do. Now, whenever you have a step from Tosca that you have to perform, you have to first analyze and understand that what sort of action you want to perform, what sort of step you are performing, you are doing. So if you would see opening of the browser and launching of application. So that particular step, if you have it in Tosca, and from Tosca, if you want to perform that, here you have to understand 2 things. There would be 2 different things. One, for creating any test case, or inside a test case, if you want to create any test steps, you would for sure need the help of modules in Tosca. Now, what is module, how we can get that, what all type of modules are present, and everything in our actual classes, the training session, I would be explaining in detail so that you can understand. But for now, to build your steps into the test case, you would need to have the modules. Now, when you say modules, currently it is of 2 types, you can just assume. One is standard or the basic or the generic operations thing. Now, what is standard, generic, or the general thing is, so when you say, okay, I want to open the browser and to test this particular application, or if I'm testing any other application, like if I'm testing this particular application, any application that I would test, if you would see, for testing any of this application, the common thing or the generic one or the standard thing that you would need across all this is nothing but the browser to be opened. You would need a browser and launch that application. So into the browser, you can launch that application. So if you see across all these different applications, the common thing or the generic one is opening of that browser and launching of that URL. Whatever URL we give, based on that, that application gets launched. So this here we can say this is a generic action, a standard one. Likewise, apart from this, what else the generic could be? Or when we say generic or the standard, what I really mean with it is, when you would try to perform the action onto that application, it is irrespective of what application it is, you need that step, you need that action to be performed. Now here, opening of the application, we would do the open the browser and we would launch it, right? And then if I want to take the screenshot, assume if I want to take the screenshot, when I say this step I need, do you think I would need only when I'm testing this application only? Taking of screenshot, what do you think? Would it be a generic one or would it be some application related? What do you think in general? What it is? Taking of screenshots, is that the application specific or the generic? What do you think?
It's a generic.
It's a generic. Why generic? Because taking of screenshots, you would not do only when you are testing this application. You might also want that same thing when you are testing this application, when you are testing this particular application, or any application that you would come across. When you are testing that, then you would need that step for sure. You would need that action for sure, taking of the screenshot. So taking of screenshot or opening the browser or even closing the browser or closing the app. When you say closing the app, even this is the generic thing, because when you test this application you might want to close it. When you are testing this application you might want to close it, right? Closing of the browser application. Yes. So closing or opening or taking the screenshot, or along with that there are some other things as well which we would need across different applications. The same thing we might require. So when there is a common thing, a generic one, a standard one, when we have any action, then for those things you might already be having any more, you might have the module which you would need. Now as per your step or action that you need, what is the first step that you need in the test case?
The browser launched the application.
Open the browser, launch the application. And here we know opening of browser and launching of application is a generic one. And whenever it is a generic thing, what you have to do is right click on the test case, search and add test step, and you would try to find, search or get the module. Now generic modules you would already have it by default in your Tosca. So how do you get and all, later I will explain. But according to what generic action you need, you can get that module. What I am actually looking for is opening of the browser and launching of application, and that I can do with the help of a module name called open URL. I will just search for a module name which says open URL. So what is this open URL module? What it does in Tosca is nothing but it will help us to open the browser as well as the application. Whatever URL you will give in this, you see over here in this, for the URL name that you see over here, for this under the value place, if you see this, right, into this box, if you give the URL, whatever URL you would give over here, Tosca would open the browser and it will launch the URL what it has to do. Right? Let's see that if Tosca is doing it or not. So what we have to do here is in the URL place, let's say I would want to open https colon, I want google.com to be open. So www.google.com. I will just try to open this google.com. So when I give this value over here in the URL place, now if I select this, if I right click and run in Scratchbook, so I'm executing. Now if you would see what would happen in your system, so I'm away from the mouse and you see now Tosca would be opening the browser and it would be launching the URL what we have given in Tosca. So on your screen, are you able to see that now? Google.com is opened. So the green color thing that you see, so Tosca was successfully able to perform that step what we have asked. And with that, we were able to see Tosca has opened the Chrome application and it has launched the google.com event. The Chrome browser it has opened and google.com it has launched. So this particular tab was opened from Tosca. But here, instead of this URL, I don't want to open this particular URL. What URL we want to open or what we want to launch as per our test case? We already have that URL. We could go here, copy the URL value, what we want to open. So I will copy this URL, come to this Tosca. Over here in the URL place, we will paste that. I will paste this value. Right? With this, now if I want to see whether Tosca is opening this application, opening the browser, and with this one step, we are expecting Tosca to open the browser as well as launch this application URL. So this module will help us to do. Now, what is this module? How exactly we get? Why only this? Why not something else and all? That in detail in our sessions I would be explaining, so you don't have to worry about all those things. For now, remember only the name that you would require. So we need to open a browser, we need open URL. Now you see on your screen, it is opening that application URL. So Tosca has successfully launched that particular application URL. So with this only step, right? And here, now in this, what else you have to think? So the other thing that you have to perform, let's say, now what is that you want to do? Click on login link, or when you go to this application. So let's say if I want to click on this shoes link, or if I want to enter some text into the search store thing, let's say I want to enter text called books and I want to click on search button. So now if you would see on the application into this text box, if I am interacting, so what do you think the action that I am performing here with this application over to this text box field, that whatever data I'm entering, just leave that. But if I want to enter some text into this text field, what do you think? This action, is it the generic or the standard one, or it is an application based or application specific action that I'm performing? What do you guys think of? If I'm selecting, say, cell phones, if I want to click on cell phones over here, click on cell phones, what do you think that action is? Is it a generic or application specific? Or if I want to enter some text into this text field, or if I want to click on this search button, that action, whatever I'm performing, the click action onto this search button, onto this text field, if I am entering some text, entering some value like books into this search box field, is what do you think that action is it a generic action or the application based, application specific? So when I say application based or application specific, it should be completely related to that, like the same thing shouldn't be or couldn't be used for any other application. So that is what we would say application based or application specific. So here if we say click on books is nothing but the application specific action. Why it is application specific action? Because click on books you would only do with this application. When you see, you won't do when you would have this application. Would you do that click on books onto this application
No.
or no? So click on books, can we say that is application specific action? Everyone agrees?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? And then selecting this cell phone, what do you think this action is? Is it generic or application specific? Application specific. So entering some text into this search store text field, is it an application specific or generic?
It's generic.
Why generic? Why do you say, when you say generic, what generic would really mean? Generic is, so entering the text into this search store text field, would you also do it when you are interacting with this application?
No.
Then if you can't, then that is an application specific action, not a generic one. Is this thing clear to everyone?
Yes.
What a generic is, what an application based action is. First, you need to understand these things. So when you understand what is application specific and what is generic, for the generic one, whenever you say, you would already have the module. You have to right click, search and add test step, and then search for the generic module, generic action that you are looking for. So for opening the browser, you would take a module called open URL. And for any other generic thing, so in this steps, what else do you see? Any generic one? What could be the generic action in our test step that we require?
Maybe click on login.
Click on login link. Now when you say click on login link, do you really think that is a generic step? How come it would be a generic? I want to just understand that.
Mostly for an web application, we will be logging in.
Right. So when you say click on login, is if it is a generic, would I be doing it here as well?
Yes.
No, no, but yeah, you have came across from that step only, right, to this page?
No. So this is just I have opened one application. I have just got this page now. So if I've got
Okay.
this page, would you say like click on
No, no, no.
login link? Is it a generic action?
No, not in this case. Yeah.
Not in this case. So when it is not in such case, then we cannot say that action what you are saying is a generic one.
Generic.
So
Okay.
functionality could be there, irrespective of what functionality it is. We don't care that functionality part. So some applications might have login, some applications might not have login. So it doesn't mean that login is a generic thing. No. Here, try to understand the action what we are performing. So click on login onto this application. What do you think? Is it an application specific or a generic?
Application specific.
Application specific. So when you have this register, if you want to click on register, that is your action that you want to perform. So click on register. This action, is it an application specific or generic?
Application.
Application specific. So here, I hope everyone is clear with what is generic and what is application specific. So whenever you have generic thing, you can directly search and add test step for the module what you would want. But whenever it is an application specific action that you would want to perform, then from Tosca, how you can do that is with the help of modules section. So we would have modules folder, and onto modules folder we have to create application specific thing. How we can create application specific? So right click on the modules, select scan, and then select this application. Now what all these things, what module is, how did we get this folder, why exactly we are scanning, why, what we are doing with this scan, and all everything in detail from scratch I would be explaining so you guys could understand it. But for the demo purpose, let me quickly show few things. Here you just notice what are things that I'm doing. Would you be able to understand that? Would you be able to know few things? If not complete, would you be able to know few things? And then once you get to understand initial the basic things, I hope you should be in a stage where you can even automate without having to code anything, and no technical knowledge or prior experience is someone required to do the automation. So that is our first intention into this demo part. So what I did, I've just right click on the modules, scan, got an application. What that X scan is now doing in this application is it will try to show us in my system what all applications are active. It will show in this window. So from this, whatever automation we want to perform, we have to select that application. We have to select that window. So which window should we select here now as part of our automation? Which window we want to interact with? What automation we want to do?
Third one.
This third one, which is your store, Google Chrome, this thing. So click this, and then this is what you want to automate. So select this window and say scan over here. Once you click on this scan, now X scan, what this X scan or Tosca is doing onto this is it will try to get all the elements of this application into the screen. All the elements. If you see now in this X scan, it has got us all the elements of this particular application, whatever we have selected, all those elements over here. Along with it, we also have the properties of that element. So Tosca, it would try to read with that scan, it will try to read what all elements are present in that selected application, and its properties is what this X scan would give us. So with the help of property, with that elements and its properties, Tosca can identify or locate the element. Now here from this screen, what I would do is, what all options again we have, we could do it better and in clear from very base thing in our actual sessions. For now, I'll just click on this, let's say select on screen. So I want from this application, what I'm going to do is, whatever action we want to perform with whichever element we want to interact with is what we will say Tosca to select it, to consider that element from out of all the n number of elements that are available on this page, on this screen for this application. I would just want to interact with specific elements, right? So whatever elements you would want to interact with, what you have to do is from this XScan window, click on this select on screen button from this option, and then when you move your mouse onto that elements, now Tosca can recognize, okay, what this element is, what it is doing, and what this element, if you see here, it is saying this element is shopping cart, this element is wish list, this element is login, this is register. Likewise, if you would see, this element is search store, these are some link, clock, clothing and shoes, electronics link, this computer link. You see over here, when it is mouse overing, you would see that. So Tosca is now able to recognize or identify these elements. So out of all this, what exactly we want from this page as part of our requirement?
Login.
Login element. So since we would be interacting with that element, we would say, okay, Tosca, can you please go to that login element and consider it? So if we want to say Tosca to consider this element, you just have to move your mouse over that element and say click. Just select it. So with this click, you are selecting that element into Tosca, or Tosca is now considering that element, you can say. So with this, apart from this, if you need any other element from this page, then you can move your mouse, select it, click on that. The moment you click, you would see that element would be added over here into your modules. So we are trying to now customly creating application specific modules. Application specific. So from this page, if you think you are going to require any other element, you just have to go there, select it, go there, click it, go there, click, select those particular things. But for me, I would say, okay, I need only this element, I'm fine. If I need, as long as I have login element, I'm fine. Even this, if it is there or not there, doesn't matter. So I need whatever element I'm looking for. If I have that, then that's fine. Now what are these elements, what property it has and all, that we will try to understand it later. But for now, I will click on this save button. The moment I click on save button, which says module saved successfully, and over with this, I'll close this. And if you would see with this message, if you go back to Tosca in the modules folder, because we right clicked, we scanned, we have taken application, with that when we saved that module, whatever we have selected on that XScan thing from Tosca into the application, we have got that module, we have got those elements, we have also got the screenshot of that application. So Tosca does all these things over here into this module. Now what this module, how did we get all these elements, how we can get and all, later we will try to understand. So now here in our Tosca, now the second step. So the first step is open URL, but according to that open URL, what exactly the step name we would require? Open the browser and launch the application. So I would rename that step. So here, if you would see, I'm renaming that step here. So the first step is what? Open the browser and launch the application. So with this thing, it is opening the browser as well as it is launching the application. The first step is successfully done. Now, what is the second step that we want to do?
Login.
Login. On login, what we want to do? As per the second step, click. Click on that login link is what we want to do. Now, when we want to click on the login link and click on login link, clicking on this is a generic one or application specific?
Application specific.
Application specific. So whenever action that you would want to perform from Tosca is application specific, you need to scan, you need to consider, create your application specific module, and in that application specific module you need to consider that login, the element that you would want to interact with. And here we had already created our module, and that element is present inside that module. What is the module name which we have created? What is the
Login.
module name which we have created?
Your store.
your store is the module name. So if you see in the module name is your store. This your store consists of the element what we are looking for. Am I correct, everyone?
Yes.
So whenever we have that, and over here, you could rename this module to anything that you would want, your own choice. You could just keep it anything. So what I would do is, I would say this is new your store application, and also hyphen, or just say this is my home page. I'll just say this is home page. So I can search for that. So just before this, I can even, let's say, just something unique. What I will do is, this is my uh, D. So just some random thing I'm just giving it. Okay. So this is my module name that I would want to give. And then I have taken it. Now, in Tosca test case, we know if we want to create a step, what we need modules. And what modules? We have two different types of module. One is standard module and another one is application specific modules. So now in this, the first step that we would require was a standard one, was a generic one, according to the action that we were looking for, since we came to know that it is a generic one. So whenever we have a generic module, then we can right click on the test case, search and add test step, and search for the generic module name. And after that, we have got it. Whatever we want to perform, we have did it. After this, the second step is the application specific action that we want to perform, which is click on login link. And to click on login link, we had to scan this application, this page, and then we have created a module, and that module name is this, and this module consists of the element what we are looking for. Then how we can use this in our Tosca? Now we know we have to use this particular module in our test step. I hope everyone is on this page, where we know over here, the second step, we need this particular module because that module consists of the element what we would want to interact with. Now here, how we can get that module? There are two ways. One is on the test case, right click, search and add test step, and search for the module name what you are looking for. So what is the module name that we have to search over here? What is the module name which we want?
The new your store.
New your store, and then this home page. So this is the module, correct? This is the module name. Everyone, is it correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the module that we are looking for now. Why we are looking for? As per our requirement. And how come our requirement? We have already seen those things. So now we have got that module. So from this, what we want to do as per the step?
Need click.
Click, click where? Should I click here?
No. Login.
Login. So because our second step, I'll just copy this second step and I would rename our step. I would rename this to what it has to do. So I'm saying click on the login link is my second step. How we can click on the login link? Go to the login link wherever that element is, and to that element in the value place, if you click over here, you would get some drop down. Click on that drop down and you will see what action you want to perform for this link, whether you want click or a right click. So what we want to do?
Click.
Click. So we will select this, or we could directly write curly braces and then click is what you can just write it over here. So with this, now if you see, if you right click, if you run, execute this step, now you would see I'm away from the mouse, and Tosca would see if everything goes well. Tosca would be performing that action if everything seems to be correct. Now if you would see, Tosca is going there and clicking on that login link. And if you see this green, which means you can now understand that Tosca has successfully executed that step. And in the application, did you see that Tosca has successfully done that action or no?
Yes, done the action.
It has done what we were expecting it to do, correct? So it has clicked on the login link. Now the second step, we can say with this, second step is successfully done. So after this, what is the third step that we want to do? What is the
Credential.
third step? Enter email ID is the third step. Now enter email ID. So what is the first approach? Just everything, the approach, the concept, everything remains same. Now just see, we want to perform this action. Now what do you think this action is? Is it, first you have to analyze whether it is a generic or standard generic one, or it is an application specific. So now what action we want to perform, what it is? Is it a generic or application specific? So entering of email ID, into the text box field. What do you think? Is it a generic one or is it an application specific?
Application specific.
Exactly. This is an
That's right.
application specific, because we would just click on this login link and entering of email ID we are performing only because this application is there. If it is any other application, we might not want to do that, or it could be something. So when you say generic, obviously in that application as well we would be doing it. So that is what a generic would mean. But entering of email ID now here is for your store application, we are entering it. So this is application specific. So whenever you have any action that you would want to perform as an application specific, what we want to do, what we should be doing in Tosca, from Tosca, how we can do that application specific thing, what we have to do?
We need to create the module. And
We need to create the module. That's it. That's simple it is. So how we can create the module? Go to Tosca, go to modules folder, and how we can create it? Yes, how we can create module?
Right click
Right.
and
Right click and
scan.
select a scan, and from this
Application.
select the application. What this application starting XScan, what Tosca is now doing, it will show us what all systems, what all applications are active in my system. It will show in this window. So from this window, we have to select the application which we want to perform the automation. So which window it is?
Oh,
Third window, which says your store.login and then Google Chrome. So if I select this, I get that application. Yes, this is the application that I want to interact. I don't want to interact with this application. I don't want this application. I don't want this. I don't want this, all these windows. Instead of this, I want this window. So I will select that window and click on scan, or I can double click on this window. So I get this XScan. Now what this XScan, what Tosca is doing over here? Anyone? What Tosca is doing with that XScan?
It will get all the elements
Modules.
on the page.
It is trying to get, in this XScan, it is trying to get all the elements of this page, of this application, all the elements. What this application consists of? This elements, as well as this, as well as the element that we would want, all these things is what Tosca would be getting all those elements into this screen. So from this screen, now we would want to select the elements of this page, whatever we want. So how we can select that? What we have to do?
When we mouse over there, we can get that element.
Right. So if I just mouse over onto this, am I getting this? No, right? How we can, what is the first thing that you have to do? You have
Select all
to
screens.
click on this select on screen option. And then when you move your mouse onto the application, then Tosca would be recognizing. So Tosca would be showing you, okay, this element is this element is this. When you move your mouse, Tosca would be showing. Select on screen, or what you can also do is click on this condense. So what this condense is doing is nothing but that whole big window, it is just minimizing. And now when it minimizes, if you move your mouse, now Tosca is recognizing what element it is, what element this one is. When you move your mouse, it is now identifying. So from this, what exactly you would want now? Depending on your requirement, you have to select that. So what is the thing that you would want?
login.
Email ID. So we would go here and I would move my mouse. You want this one? Should I select this?
Yes.
You want only this, is it?
Text field, like text.
You need text field, not this label. You need this element. So you would move your mouse onto this text field part and you would click, select this, click this. Okay. So you only need this or anything else?
Password.
You also need password. So you would move your mouse again from this page. You also need this password element. So you would go there and select this. So you need only two. If you are done, you would click back on advanced. So is it done what you are looking for or anything else? What do you think? What do we need from this page overall?
Click on login, the below one.
Login button as well. So you would
Yeah.
need the email element you would be interacting, the password field, as well as the login button. So you would be interacting with these three fields. So you would select these three fields. So you have selected these three fields. It is showing blue color, which means these three things are selected. Now, if you are done with whatever you want to, or sometimes even if you want this remember me checkbox to be selected, you can select this. If you want forgot password link, if you want to consider even, so you can say Tosca to even consider this link, I might be using this one. So like that, you have to select from this page whatever you want. You can select those elements, and once you are done with whatever elements you want to select, you can click back on advanced, and then you get all the elements whatever you have selected and its properties. So about this properties and all in detail we will try to understand it later, but for now this is the module name. And the module name what I want is, let's say d new your store. I want to name this as login page. I want to say this as login page. Okay, I'm just giving it this way, and I will click on this save button. The moment I click on this save button, I get this message. And when I click this, so what does this message mean? If you go back to modules, under this you will see the module which you have added, and that module consists of the elements what you have considered. You have said Tosca to consider, it has got you all those elements and the screenshot of that application even. Now with this we know we have the module. Now into our test case, so click on login link is second step done. So what is the third step that we want to do? Third step, after click on login link, what was our third step which we require?
Enter the email.
Enter email
Enter
and
the email
password.
ID. So if we want to enter email ID, we know that enter email ID, that element is present in one of the module. What is the module name in which it is present?
Login page.
Login page module name. So how we can get that module in our test case? What we have to do?
We need to add that module.
How?
Right click and
Right click on the test case.
yeah,
Search
from
and add test tab. And into the search field, we have to search for the module name. What is the module name?
login page.
Login page. So when you search for login page, see if you are getting that module, which module it is. Which module
Login.
it is?
D new store, your stores.
D new your store, this particular module. So I need this module. You can select or search with that exact name so that you would get only that element, that suggestion over here, right? So I know this is the module that I'm looking for. So I would select that. And now in this, what exactly we want to do? What we want to do here in this step?
Need to enter the email and
The
password.
email password.
Email thing. So email is the element that you want to interact in the value place. You go to that text field and over here just enter whatever you want to enter. So here I don't want to enter anything. I want what value? I want this value to be entered. So I will copy this data that I want to enter, come to this place, I will paste it. So with this, now what we are doing in this step is nothing but the same thing. Enter email ID is what we are doing as part of our third step. Now if you see in this, it is entering the email ID. Now same way, if you want to enter, the next step is I want to enter the password and this value I want to enter. So how we can enter the password? Again, to enter the password, we know that password element is present in one of the module. That element is already present in one of the module. What is the module name in which it is present?
Login page.
Login page.
Login page. So it is present in this login page. So when you know which module it is, the element that you need, in which module it is, to add that module in your test case, there are two ways. One way which we know is select the test case, right click on that, search and add test tab and search with the module name. That is one way. On second way is when you know which module it is, go there, select that module, click and then drag that module and drop it onto the test case directly. The moment you drag and drop it onto the test case, you will see that module would be added. That step is added. Now over here in this step, what we need exactly? What we want to do?
Password.
Password. So we would go to the password element. Where is the password element? The element is not this. I want this. So to this, what we want to do in the value place, to this password field, what we would be doing? Entering some text. Entering some text. So whatever text we want to enter, we will enter that text over in this field in the value place for this element. That's it. And to this, we could rename it. We will say what we are doing here. We are saying enter password as per the step. So enter email ID is done. Enter password is done. So after this, what is the next step that we would want?
Click on login.
Click on login button. And to click on login button, we already know that module, that element is present in the same module. This module, if we need it, we could search and add test step or drag and drop it onto the test case. And once we drag and drop, we have this. Now from this, we want to do click on the login button. So if you want to click on login button, where is that login button? Is it that this element or is it this element? Where that element is?
Last one.
Last one. So this element. So to this, in the value place, do we want to enter anything here like this?
No.
What we want to do for this element?
Just click.
Click. How we can click this element? You see this drop down, or just write that value. What you want to write? If you want to click, curly brace, click is what you have to write it. With this, Tosca would now be clicking on this element, or you can even write X to this button. So with this, what it would mean is nothing but it will be clicking on this element. Right? So are you done with all your steps or no?
Done.
The last step is pending, right? What is the last step? Close the app. So again, close the app. Analyze the step, understand that what it is. Is it an application specific or a generic? Close the app is an application specific or generic?
I think it's a generic.
Generic. So whenever it is a generic, what we would do is we would already have the module. So again, how we can get that module? Right click, search and add test step and search for the generic module name. So what module name would we need here, which would, what action we want to perform, what we want to do?
Close the
Close the app. So close the app, close the browser or close thing. So depending on that, the module name even would be similar to that. So here what we can do is we will say close. When you say close, I want to close the browser. So when you search for close browser, over here you would see a module name. And that module name, yes, this is the module that I am looking for. So this close browser, if we give the title in the value place. Now, what is the title? So this step is expecting, just give me the title and Tosca says, I will close that. So what is the title that we have to give? Now, if it is this application, what do you think? What is the title for this application?
home page.
Title, how could it be homepage? How you are saying that is a homepage?
For the application.
So here, what this step says is just give the title of whatever the application you want to close. Now, how do you get the title of any application? Anyone? How do we get the title? Where do we get it? What do you think? So title for any application, we will get to see on the tab. On the tab, do you see some name? What is the name of this tab?
Parabank.
Parabank slash this hyphen and then welcome and then this is the title. So what is the title for this thing? This is the title, demo web shop, and for this the title is this. So like that you would see these titles. So here in Tosca, if we just give this title, you will see it will be closing that. So if you want to see, just see this. Let's say I want to close the second tab. So what is the title of that second tab?
Demo web shop.
then we will go to Tosca, and in the title place, let us give that value and see if Tosca is closing that demo web shop. Exactly the same way you have to give. If you don't give exactly the same way, even the cases exactly should be the same way. And when you give exactly in the same way, and when you would select this, right click run, just see whether it is closing that application or not. Just see it. If everything goes well, Tosca should be doing. And here we will get that green thing. If something doesn't go well, you will see some red color. So is it done or no? Tosca says green, which means it says it's done. But in the application, in the browser, did it really happen or no? Has it happened?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Here, so it has closed the tab which we wanted to. So demo web shop, now there is no demo web shop application. See, like that, we could just give whatever tab we want to. Do we want to close this? No. What we want to close? What is the thing that we would want as per our requirement?
Your store login.
Your store thing. So here I want to close the browser, the title, which has the value called your store and then dot login something, or I'll say star. What does star mean? It means it could be anything, but I would need for sure your store. Just see for the title on the screen, just see for the title. If it is there, just close that. That's it. So if you select this, if you right click, and if you would now run that, you see whether that application is getting closed or not is what you have to see. Just see to that tab, and if that tab is there, it should close. It has already closed now. Tosca has successfully closed that tab. Right? So this is how you could write those things. Now overall, whatever steps in total we wanted to do is what we have performed here. Now with this, if I select the test case, if I right click and run everything, all the steps of my test case, now I will be away from my mouse and Tosca would now be doing all those actions, whatever it has to. The first step is open the browser. It has done launching of application. Yes. And then what is the next thing it should do now on this?
Click on login.
Click on login. So you see Tosca is going there, clicking, and after that enter email ID, entering password, and clicking on login button, and then the last
Closing the app.
step,
Close
close
the
the
app.
app. You see, it has also closed the app from the screen, and everything is done, green color. So which means everything is executed, expected, whatever we asked it to, it has performed. So it has successfully done the login functionality test as part of our automation thing. This is how you would be doing it. Now in this, while we have automated this step, have we anywhere did any technical thing? Have we coded anywhere?
No.
No.
No. So
No.
that is where Tosca now we can say it is a codeless tool, no scripting, just the model based. What it is, just without having to code anything, we could automate. So the same thing, same approach overall, you could use this and automate any given application. Not only this application, what we did, it could be any other application even, you could follow the same approach and perform the automation. So that is what I wanted to explain in this Tosca practical thing. So with this, I hope we are done with whatever I wanted to, and probably in our next session now, the Monday thing, we would be looking into the actual training classes, the regular topics where the important ones. Now, what you have to do with that, you have to first get the Tosca downloaded, Tosca download, and then get it installed. And once the Tosca is downloaded, install license configuration, even license configuration, all these things you would need to do, so that the next topic, whatever I would be explaining, is what you guys can even practice the same thing from your end. So to do all these things, what you have to do is you have to connect with our admin team, and our admin team would help you to get all these things, the Tosca downloading thing, the installation process, and even the licensing thing. Since it is a licensed one, even you don't have to worry about that. So our admin team would help you to get this thing configured in your machine. So once you have this, which is after this, the very important session, which is on Monday, where I would be explaining what you would really be doing once you have Tosca things, everything is ready. What is the first thing, the base, the scratch, from scratch? What is the first thing that one would need to do? Is what we are going to look into our regular topic, the regular sessions, which is the next week. With this, I think I'm done with today's session. So if you guys have any questions from anyone, let me know.